David, not to dwell too much on the past, but just that those last few overs in Bloemfontein. Did you enjoy your partnership with Marku? Was it also an interesting dynamic, sort of like guiding an enthusiastic guy, just sort of like in the helter skelter of those death overs?
Yeah, I mean, it has been I mean, I think it's the first time I've batted with him, so it was really nice to just get that bond together. We've got on really well off the field, and I think he's got a lot to offer. I mean, he's still very young, as you mentioned. A great talent, bat and ball. So it was just nice to be there with him. Obviously, chatting through a few scenarios and situations, and when the pressure is on like that, for him to come through the way he did was just really pleasing to see. And yeah, I mean, it's hopefully we get a lot more partnerships in the future.
I mean, I know it's very early days, but we've seen his hitting power and stuff. You think those type of scenarios are very valuable for him, in terms of perhaps in future becoming a finisher for his designated teams?
Yeah, definitely. He's got long levers. I mean, he's like 5 meters tall, so he's got long levers there, which helps his swing. He hits the ball really, cleanly. And anyone that can do that has an advantage over the opposition already. So I think for him it's just trying to work out a game plan for as time goes on in international cricket. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a huge talent, and he's got a lot going for him. So as he plays and gets more experience, all those things will fall into place. But he definitely does have a gift, with the striking of the ball. So it's a great plus.
And just the last one from me, David. I'm not asking you to play selector, but there's been talk, that there has been some discussions about rotation, particularly in the bowlers and stuff. And regardless who gets picked, tomorrow, are you excited as sort of like a more senior guy, who's perhaps also a bit more invested, in the overall, development of the team, to see how the guys stand up? I mean, the series is won, but a 3-0 result, would be very important, in the broader context. Are you sort of like excited to see how you guys might marry potential rotation, with another positive result?
For sure. We don't ever want to be a team that sort of sits behind, like we just just going to see how guys play. Ultimately we're here to win. We want to win the series 3-0. So for us, it's really important to still to be putting the right people on the park. But in saying that, our squad is incredibly strong. We're always producing great cricketers in South Africa, and whoever does out of the squad play. As you mentioned, I'm not a selector, so I don't know, but I have no doubt that we're going to have a full strength team. And like I said, just to be nice and clinical would be a cherry on the top to kind of have the intention of winning 3-0.
No? David, Timber spoke before the series and about kind of trying to find a new style, an aggressive style that suits South Africa. I just wondered, as one of the senior players and someone who's sort of been around the squad for a while, have you kind of had those discussions with him or with others? And is the way you play probably more in the second match a reflection of that?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a discussion that we've been speaking about now with being more aggressive. But looking at the squad and the batters that we do have, especially coming from T20 cricket, a lot of the guys are getting huge experience around the world with all the leagues, and as we play more international cricket, all our batters, I feel, are boundary strikers. Guys, they like the bat on ball. So we kind of already have that in stock. And I think it's more just probably just an awareness thing, trying to be a little bit more bolder in certain parts of the game, taking on opposition, not necessarily at the end, but more so, throughout the innings. So I think it's just a discussion around that, and it's really exciting.
England have spoken, a couple of the England players have spoken about the challenge of getting into the rhythm of 50-over cricket after playing a lot of T20 cricket. Is that something you find as well with batting? Like, it's a little bit different when you're coming further down the order, but but just generally in the 50 over game?
Yeah, definitely. I think the principles don't change, but it's just obviously the length of the game. So you just got to be doing the same thing just longer. So it's just about making sure you kind of mentally up for that and trying to mold your game around just trying to extend whatever you're doing right to keep doing it for longer. So that's pretty much how I see it. But it is, getting into the 35th over, knowing that there's still 15, 20 overs. It is a tiring thought. But I think it's just about winning small moments throughout the game, like all the way through.
And just you've beaten the World Cup champions in England. You were pretty well on top of that series, and you've won this series here. Do you feel like you've got the wood over that side, and how encouraging is that for you when you look at the qualification? I mean, you're 2 games down of those 5 that were remaining, so you put yourself in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I mean, we have always, stepped up against the stronger teams, and England are, a formidable force. So for us to do well against them is always a pleasing thing. Like I said, just to try and continually do the right things, ticking the right boxes on and off the field as a team is probably the most important thing for us. You put all those 1%ers together and, you're pretty much doing the right thing. So it's the smaller things that make a difference. And, I'm excited about this team. We've been together for some time now. Yes, haven't really been as successful as we wanted to in the one-day stuff for the last 2 years, but still that doesn't take away how good the players are. Got some seriously good players, world match winners, and it's an exciting time. I think if we can just put it all together, we definitely compete with the best in the world.
Okay, thanks. I'm David Bennington from EMTA. Just in terms of coming to Kimberley, how important is location for players? Just in terms of playing in like far-flung areas, not in like the major cities, and you saw the crowd also in Bloem as well. So is that a thing for players, or do you just come in and play?
Yeah, I mean, I was here 5 years ago, played for the Knights, and so pretty familiar with the area. But it can be a little bit of a different mindset. You're kind of in the middle of nowhere, and but at the end of the day, we are here to play cricket, and I think whatever conditions, wherever we find ourselves in the world, you need to come up with a plan and of how to win. So for us, it's nice to be here. I think it's just a mindset shift, and just being really up for it. Mentioned 2-0 in the series. We want to be nice and clinical and finish it with 3-0 in the series, and just be nice and mentally strong for tomorrow.
And just for the crowd, bringing the world champions and the Proteas to an area like Kimberley, just your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. It is nice to be playing in Bloem and Kimberley, as you mentioned, not necessarily the main cities. So it is nice for the local people and the fans and supporters around here to get international cricket. I think it's really good for Cricket South Africa. The fans absolutely love it, and we're looking forward to seeing them all tomorrow on the grass banks and the chairs, the stadium that they have here. So it's exciting for tomorrow. I know, it's big for the local people. So really looking forward to it.
Thanks. We'll now go online. There are 4 questions which we'll go through, and then we'll look to wrap up the press conference. So we're going to go Johan, then Ken.
Hi, David. You were talking about your previous home ground. You're looking forward to that small boundary. And the other thing, way back when you came to Bloemfontein playing for the Knights, there was talk of you trying to get in the test side. If they asked you now to consider test cricket, what would your answer be?
Yeah, firstly, I am looking forward to the short boundary. It's I've got some good memories here in Kimberley, and it's nice to be back playing here tomorrow. So, in terms of test cricket, I can't really give you an answer. I mean, I haven't been playing 4-day cricket domestically for a long time now. At this stage, I'm just going to park it there because, I haven't really been approached at all. It's just something that we might have to discuss in the future. But as of now, I haven't been playing 4-day cricket for a good few years.
Thanks, Johan. Ken?
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, David? Very well batted the other night. If I may, though, I just want to ask you about Temba's innings. Temba obviously spoke about the emotions for him, having made that 100 the other night. But it's obviously been quite a last couple of months for your captain. For you guys as players, how did you guys feel about him making that 100 on the other night?
Well, Ken, I think it would be silly for me to say that I wasn't happy. I mean, it was one of the most exciting times for us to see Temba scoring a 100, and not necessarily the 100, just the way he did it. I think he played phenomenally well. He put pressure on the bowlers from the word go, and he just, he played at that tempo all the way through. And I mean, he's been working extremely hard, behind the scenes at his game, and trying to find different ways to score, especially in the white ball stuff. And yes, 2 days ago was just outstanding. I mean, just the maturity that he batted with, and as I mentioned, the tempo. It was just so good to see. And obviously going towards a match-winning knock like that, to get the win on top of a knock like that is even better. So, yeah, just very chuffed for him, and just great learnings from that as well. I think he learnt a lot as well. But just to show everyone and also himself that he can score at a very healthy strike rate. With just really good cricket shots.
Thanks, Ken. Amir?
Good afternoon, David. Thank you for the opportunity. David, about 5 South African players and a couple of English boys head back to the SA20 on Thursday, to play in the Giants MI game. You spoke about playing for the Knights earlier, so you've obviously travelled in and out of the city quite often, or the area rather. Just speak to the potential logistics that they may encounter, and would that have an effect on their performances, possibly?
No, I don't think it's going to have effect on performances at all. To be honest with you, I don't know what the logistics are. I think there's a flight out from here to Joburg, so it should be pretty short. I think it's 40 minutes. I'm going to Joburg. But anyway, I think it's either Bloem or Kimberley, but it wouldn't be an issue. We're playing on Friday. But yeah, I mean, I think some of the guys are playing on Thursday evening, which might be a little bit of a challenge for them, playing a one day straight into a T20 the next day. So, but as I mentioned before to many people, is that this is our profession. We're getting paid for it, and you are expected to perform and be there for whatever team you are playing for. So I think it comes with the territory, and the guys will definitely be up for it.
Thanks, Amir.
Awesome. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Percival. And then we'll look to wrap with Stu.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Good afternoon. David. David, can I kindly ask you, I'm not on the ground to see what's physically happening there during your training sessions. Can I ask you, and you reminded us that you are not a team selector, and I also know you're not a team doctor, though, sir. Can you perhaps tell me, your captain, you spoke about Timber Huma, he was struggling a bit physically in the last part of his great innings of his. Is he physically fit to be available for tomorrow? And the same question can go for Quinton de Kock, as much as Lucy mentioned his finger or his thumb wasn't fractured.
I must be honest, with Quinton, I'm not too sure exactly. Like I said, I'm not the doctor or the physio. So, but Temba obviously got a bit of cramp. It wasn't anything other than cramp. So just stocking up on fluid and getting all the necessary diet requirements he needs to get in, and he'll definitely be ready to go with no cramps. But with Quinny, I'm not too sure.
Thanks, Percival. Just an update, so Quinny is still under further medical observation. Thanks, and then we'll just look to conclude with Stu.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, David. You've made mention of the importance of winning 3-0. I mean, the series has been won, and the tension of that happening is gone. But is there still tension because of the Super League situation, and how do you guys manage that?
Yeah, I think you know we want to get into the top 8. So for us, every ODI is always an important event, but I think it becomes more necessary right now, you know, to be as clinical as we can, and not take the foot off the pedal, and just be really sort of up for it, like I mentioned, mentally up for any challenge. And I think the guys have played superb cricket so far in all different areas. Always certain areas that we can improve on, but hopefully tomorrow we come out and you know, put everything together one last time.
Great, thanks Stu, and thanks everyone for joining us both online and the room. We will share the audio and video files shortly.